Hello, everyone. So, a pitch battle, right? I mean, there's some serious stuff going on. When last we our heroes.
Jeff. Hey.
Hello, sir. First to the banner for our live stream reunion. I'm calling this a reunion episode because like I said, we got some special guests tonight. Please welcome Matt Witt, our party leader, playing Albrecht Stonechucker.
Hello, everybody.
So, Matt, being first, like, you remember how we talked about the joke about the bard interview in the middle of a battle? Okay, so imagine, if you would, that the battle stops or some bard comes floating down, like the pixie bard, and they're like, so how do you feel about this fight? You know, you guys are just getting into it, and you're very low on spells, Mr. Stonechucker.
I have no spells. I'm on cantrips.
Yes, we know.
But it's fun, it's fun.
So the battle thus far, you've got one guy on a roof. You've got one guy, you've got clerics popping in and out, Have we ever done a rooftop battle before? That wasn't Star Wars. That's been haunting me like all these years. Like,
I'm trying to think. I don't. Outside of Star Wars, I don't. I feel like we haven't.
Okay.
We have done. In Mummy's Mask, we did climb up to the upper level. It was like a balconied area, but not an actual rooftop thing.
Okay, I'll take that.
So this is a first. It is. I'm on the ground though, so I'm not on the roof.
You're fine. You're fine.
I hope.
What's everybody complaining about? You're fine. You're fine. I wanted to talk about your build. Now you guys are on the cusp of.
Yes, I think so. We're getting close.
Okay, don't tell Doug. He keeps asking. We're 10th now. We're 10th now. No. Yeah. Not yet. Gotta make him earn it. Not yet, sir.
Yeah, I need to basically land crits every time I roll the dice. So, FG, do your thing.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Doug Baldwin. How you doing tonight, Doug?
Not bad. Checkity. How y'all doing?
Not bad. You're coming in hot. I'll give you that. Back off a little bit.
Hear that, Doug? Jeff thinks you're hot.
Yeah, well, it's not the first time.
That's a given. That's a given. The first time I met Doug was over a phone.
First time ever I saw your face.
I was going to introduce Doug Baldwin, our new king of the cold opens, and there he goes, launching into song. Still a bit loud there. Not that you don't have a lovely singing voice that rivals our professional singer. Keep Matt in his place.
All right. How's that? Is that sounding better? I came back off.
That is nicer.
Yep. Just a tad more off the gain. The burning question we have for Doug Baldwin tonight is, has he managed to revamp his character into the Pathfinder core and have, I don't know, just off the top of my head, maybe some random champion ability? I'd just pulling something from that, redemption or glimmer of redemption might have changed significantly or minorly in the new conversion.
It did, yeah. When I the rule set changes a little bit on that, and at the moment I don't remember how that did because I don't have the rules handy up to read that. But I've already I have updated my character with that version of it because Path Builder does describe it. But it's just the effect in play is a teeny bit different. I think it's looser. Oh, well, like we got rid of it's now holy and unholy. It used to be something.
Yeah, there's no longer
else.
alignment damage.
Right.
They've kind of to avoid being sued by Wizards of the Coast, because they're the Disney of tabletop RPGs.
So I still have that on there. I'll look real quick and.
Okay, so while the boys are rolling in, Matt, like our mysterious in other shows, there's some things being held back about Albert Stonechucker, and I feel by the time you guys crank it to 10th level, we need to sort of show our cards. At this point, the fans that are still listening have been loyal, and now if something's really like a big reveal, been hiding your Sith puppy or something, then I'm all for you hiding it until the proper moment to whip out ability. But just wanted to touch on a couple of things. We went over spells with you that changed, and a lot of it was like show and go or something, but just
tons of spells changed.
Something been tickling the back of my brain that there's a chunk missing that we should sort of update before. Does that make sense to you?
I think we kind of went over everything. I don't know if we went over everything live or not, but the big difference came from one of my feats, the what's it called? Cross-blooded evolution. And basically everything about my character got a buff. I don't think there was a single thing that was a nerf in any way, shape, or form for the sorcerer class. Like all of my spells. One thing that Fantasy Grounds doesn't do, and I have to remember to do it because it is extra damage, is they gave sorcerers this ability called Sorcerer's Spellcasting, I believe.
Go on.
Nope, that's just... Where is it? Sorcerer's Potency. Because of the magical power inherent in your blood, your spells that hurt or cure are stronger than those of other spellcasters. When you cast a spell from your spell slots that either deals damage or restores hit points, you gain a status bonus to that spell's damage healing equal to the spell's rank. And Fantasy Grounds doesn't automatically apply that. So it's something that I have to remember to put in. Now, I've literally been casting cantrips for the last 3 encounters, so that's not going to give me any bonus damage, but but when I get a chance to take a nap, let me tell you. But that was one thing. It's just an overall, all of my spells do a bonus based off of the rank of the spell. So for example, if I was going to cast my 5th level Howling Blizzard, which is what the Cone of Cold was replaced with, it would do, where is it, 10d6 plus 5 instead of just straight up 10d6. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but every little bit counts in this game, especially as we're getting into these, as we're starting to edge our way into the higher level stuff.
Yeah, no, a little difference can make a lot of difference down the road.
But yeah, the big change was cross-blooded evolution, because instead of just getting, before it was just like you get the spells, the bloodline spells of that new evolution. Now they just give you the whole evolution. At least that's how I read it. Which, kind of OP, kind of cool, I feel like.
Gamma and Chat and Explosion are 2 local lurkers. I shouldn't say they're local because they're states, but always appreciate that they're lurking around. Explosion is talking to Gamma, and he's like, Gamma is asking in the chat, what about the question I asked? Why is it censored? It's like...
It's because of the way you type.
Yeah, it's probably, yeah. That's nothing to do with me, man. I don't.
The Twitch
Yeah,
AI auto
Twitch-
modder got ya.
Yeah, Twitch is it's very you cannot say very many things. I don't think you can even say like shit. Which I realize I sort of just set that up and like here, let me
Does
just
it, does it censor us? Is the question.
No, just the chat.
Interesting. But yes, I.
So the biggest changes when they sort of shifted it's more subtle and nuanced for a champion is just once they converted over to that, then I have an aura of up to 10 or 15 feet around me, and what happens in that aura kind of builds as time goes by, but I don't think at the moment I'm using anything. Do you remember, everybody still has to be within 15 feet for me to do the glare, the rejection, and that's because they're within my aura. So it just kind of codifies everything within that 15 feet zone.
Yeah, I just recently built a second level champion to play in the Abomination Vaults campaign that Jeff is running on Mondays from time to time. And
they're very few and far between. I think we're going to see more of you in Outlaws. Just to
for
let
sure,
the fans know.
But I have a character ready to go.
Yeah.
So I built a champion, one of the snake-headed people for my race. I can't quite pronounce the name off the top of my head, but anyways,
Slytherin.
Yeah.
TM.
But I decided to not go the Redeemer because I know how much Jeff absolutely hates the glimpse of redemption ability.
Yeah.
So I went.
Oh no! It's a stacked ability, but like if anyone like say my guy Troy said I'm going to make a wizard or sorcerer and my go-to is going to be magic missile, I'm going to say like, well, no, we're doing that a lot in another show, right? So if someone makes a champion, I said, there's three of them, right? Like just try to go down a different path,
Exactly.
That's all.
Well, and I figured I'd get a little bit more leeway on my character creation if I built something that was new to our games.
Right.
So I built a
what's his stick?
It's the attack of opportunity. Champion.
So you get your reaction is an attack of opportunity.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
This relentless strike kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
It's pretty cool. It'll be fun to play, I think. But definitely not the same vein as the Redeemer path where you're
right. You're out for worthy justice. You're out for whether holy or unholy justice. Wherever you're headed, you're out to meet judgment. Where I'm trying to help everybody see the error of their ways.
That is a very apt description, sir. Yeah. So my character's all about justice at the cost of all, like don't let anybody get away with anything. If you are a betrayer, watch out. Right. Because I will chase you down and kill you instantly, no questions asked. And that was the other thing on this build that was a bit different because I'm not good.
I can that can make you slightly more ruthless.
It's pretty savage. Pretty savage. Basically, it's like justice, but I've given because of the religion that I am.
But a straight up true neutral, right?
Yeah, absolutely pure neutral.
If nothing, maybe a touch of lawful neutral. Not that that's in this system at all either. But
yeah, true. Yeah, I guess there is no actual.
It's reductive. Sorry, I'm being so reductive.
But definitely a different build. A lot more combat savvy, more damage for sure. Yeah. But there was a feat I took so that I could have lay on hands because
it's well, you go with the Blessed One archetype and you start once you buy
exactly what I did,
and you start picking that up. Yeah,
that is exactly what I did.
It's just too good. It is too good not to have auxiliary healing, and as you've seen, once you get up to my level, it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, and now like this is a second level build that I've done, so I've got literally one focus point.
But now that's the other thing that has changed in the conversion is they've normalized focus points and how they're created and what they are. You get up to 3. You don't, you get your 10 minutes. You can get more than
Refocus for
just
10
one.
minutes. There's a couple mid-combat feats you can take that'll give you a quick re-up for your focus points, which I think I did actually take one just so I'd have a second. Because for the god that I chose, it was the harm path, so I couldn't take lay on hands. It was not an option. I was just
that makes sense.
Well, then here's that free second level archetype gonna slay. No, it's cool. It was a interesting build, and I like to do things a little bit thematically. So first, I research the heritage and the ancestry, and then look into the god, and I try to build characters that make sense in the world, not just I'm a min-max twink, watch yourself.
Yeah. Well, having
a min-max twink. Sorry, I just like that. That's good. You twink. You bloody twinker. It's almost like, we'll just get off that. It was, sorry. Compartmentalize that.
No, I was just having a healer who also can have a armor class high enough to be front line. Then you can lean right. You can heal yourself, or you can heal somebody else right next to you, and keep the front line up. Which a cleric is gonna, maybe throw you a couple of hit points from range.
Well, I mean, our good old vicar.
Yeah, well, but he's actually went down that path exactly because he was getting whacked. Boom.
Yeah. So he tries. He's done well. He can hit things hard when he hits.
Yeah.
But he also, he's. I think he's gone down more than Miros. It's I think maybe they're tied.
Has enough time passed since my last visit on that ship that I have 0 wounds?
Oh. Dude, they went from the ship, ran to the boathouse, and then they ran to this battle. It's been, you've got some 10-minute focus. Yeah, you've got 10-minute focus points, but that's it. It's been half an hour, maybe an hour. You could do some medicine checks.
You probably
have
had enough time that you could touch yourself a few times.
Okay.
You get some private time, yeah.
Right. I didn't need to lay on hands myself really all that much, but yeah. I'm not down that much, but a focus point would be good because I popped in, healed people, and then popped out. So.
I will re-up everyone's hero point, so you all have a hero point, not 2, not 0. Re-up
27 hero points, got it.
Love it.
Hero point.
So do we need player core and player core 2, or just player core 2 for the modules?
As long as it says core, you're good. Please welcome the dwarven cousin who falls down holes a lot. Mr. Matt Spiegler is in the house tonight doing a cameo. That's right. Some portal teleportation hijinks are in his highlight. Don't worry. Your favorite wanted by the outlaws halfling investigator. Are you the law, or are you wanted by the law there, Drew? Welcome back.
Definitely not wanted. I hope.
So you think 4 is enough, 4 and we'll go to town, but I noticed there's a distinct lack of clerics. Yes, the paladin's a backup here. So as the night progresses, there might be, just a little bit, few more surprises. But since you're all here, and we're a few minutes out from the official live stream, which actually I'm recording and still doing, so I might as well use this 20 minutes of footage, actually. I would like to, if he is available, officially welcome Doug Baldwin back to the show, re-up his seasonal cameo, much to my chagrin, and put up with whatever Pathfinder core has to throw at me for the new champion. Because he was missed, apparently, and beloved, apparently, and badly needed in combat, obviously.
The fans all wrote in.
The fans wrote in. But what else have I got up my sleeve? Well, as long as we're dropping dwarves out of the air, what about a dwarf that's not a cousin? What about a dwarf that the last time, now this episode drops on December 10th, so I'm hoping the last time you saw...
Let's be honest, they're all a little bit related.
Yeah.
a little bit related. I would like to welcome one of our auxiliary game masters and one of our Monday night on and off regulars from Abomination Vault, as Matt was just talking, that he's invaded, from Outlaws of Alkenstar, that he's also invaded. From these guys' perspective, they had one Outlaws of Alkenstar, Andreas Stoutbeard, at 4th level, working on a construct to try and find a wind-up key to save this guy. But from Andreas' perspective, he is on an airship, and they are flying into a mana storm. And during that storm, the wild magic takes him and intermingles with the buggered Joe Gibson portal magic. And I shall drop him where I bloody well please, because neither Joe Gibson, the cleric of CC, or Joe Davis, the cleric of CC, yeah, that was not actually my doing. Neither cleric are here tonight. So whether it's temporary, whether it's a unexplained phenomenon, please welcome Eric Save to the show. Eric, welcome back to Friday night, where no one remembers to unmute.
Thank you
See
very
if it's
much.
right
Glad to be back. There we go.
He fits right in.
See, a little
Volume
rusty.
too low and
There
you
we
can't
go.
mute. Yeah. So guys, while these guys are putting their finishing touches, we have combat in front of you. And just so that the audience gets a little bit familiar with brand of creepy. First of all, okay, a little behind the scenes action for you all. Can everyone see the Fantasy Grounds map? Everybody in Fantasy Grounds, can you all see the map?
I sees it.
Yep.
Yep, okay. Whether you're on it or not, we'll get soon. Digging up minis as needed. Okay. Now, some of these guys have very little information. And even Spiegler, that doesn't really follow the show unless I invite him to fall out of the sky and save his cousin dwarves. He only has a smattering of knowledge. This is a second portal, not the jungle, far away from what these guys are used to. And I'm literally going to burn an action to bring them in, burn an action on perception for them to try and make sense of whatever, and have them act exactly, friend or foe, as their characters would. All they know is if they were not 9th level, they are now. If they were, or 8th level is fine for Spiegler. Because now we're extra guy up. And they will be taken from where they are in other shows and possibly either staying here or put back as the whims of the GM and mana waste and, of course, everyone's terrible scheduling requires. So, gentlemen, taking the Twitch overlay to the official brand new and shiny battle board, because I had to switch computers because my wife just bought the new Dragon Age and her old laptop won't keep up. So I lost the workhorse that I was recording on using my other workhorse and had to switch a whole bunch of computers around and building a lot of overlays again. Bigger, better, brighter, semi from
Don't
scratch.
let her hear you calling her that.
No. From scratch, not Sasquatch, if that's what you think.
No, workhorse.
Oh yeah, I think this is the part where Doug says hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Yeah, no, she's literally actually playing the game right now. Got earbuds in. She's, even though she's 10 feet away from me, she's miles away, saving the other alternate world. So guys, at the top of round 3, those who are on the board see a tall, hearty, male human warrior in the center of the map on top of the actual town smokehouse. Now around, there are not every building, but there are buildings that have been half destroyed. As you can see on the map, there are buildings that are ablaze. Because when slavers sack a town, they like chaos, and they snatch up the unwary during that chaos. Now you guys that are on the board had an intel that The town leaders and at least 2 dozen people were being held in the smokehouse, and it seems to be guarded because not only were you guys soon on the map and instantly ambushed by a couple of sneaks and halfling triad anti-dwarf, that there are a few fire drakes lounging around on the map on roofs, and a burly human that is calling out insults to one Miros Anvilbender, currently in giant frog form, bless him, so he can't respond. And you can see it in Miros' face. He wants to change back just to trade insults, but knows, combat savvy, that he's far more powerful in this form, as he's been giving, and I don't care about phrasing that, he's been giving the bad guys a real tongue lashing, quite literally with his 15-foot tongue reach, doing all kinds of monk stunts and flippers. It is now the unidentified male human warrior's turn. This guy stands a good 6'2", looks in his late 30s, early 40s, literally has the sort of scarred eye patch, carries a great big hefty morning star, manacles, and a short bow on his back. And last round began taunting Miros. And whatever the Frogger did, whatever, he's decided to now, because he's spent so many rounds out of the battle, to join in the battle. And as an action, he draws his short bow, continues his taunting, and sends a single arrow flying at the giant frog, which I will incur. Yeah. 34. Halfling investigator bow wielding goes, oh, as he just pinpoints Miros and nails him for the good old 2d6 plus 8 piercing damage, and does 11 points to our Miros. The large dragon drake creature continues to lounge most happily. Does nothing at the moment. Sneaky human number 3. This woman is on the ground in front of a building and has decided to come around and join the fray after getting knocked off a roof. Disappeared last round. Now, after last round's movement and this round, appears on the map directly behind our sorcerer. We have wizards that hug the map. I have NPCs that actually technically can the map and come around the adjacent building just to make the fight more interesting in a gray area without necessarily bending or rewriting anything as I promised I would not. And targeting, although beat up, not to mention this one is badly beaten already, targeting Albrecht Stonechucker with her rapier. She manages to get in a single strike and misses.
Aha!
Miros Anvilbender opens his mouth and because he was nomming on a sneaky human, and suddenly contorts and becomes too small for the woman's head and shrinks. And you guys at first believe that Miros is, shall we say, going back to dwarven form. But as the round turns over his round and inserting in a second turn, just to be a little bit fair, a single action where Stefan Oakenhart finds himself amidst a burning town facing a deadly looking roguish woman. A second to peer around and try and make sense of everything. Unfortunately, from your vantage point, your party, or the party that you've been inserted into, is so close to the building you don't really have eyes on them, except for a familiar voice of your cousin, Albrecht Stonechucker, who, over your shoulder, and as you can see clearly, if you're actually the frog now, down through the open roof boards of the damaged roof, you see Al turning and giving the dwarven salute to someone that just missed him. You were slogging through the jungle you were armed to the teeth, and you were actually midst another combat and about to be surrounded and outgunned and outmanned, and then suddenly snatched away on the wind and find yourself here. Oaken, what do you do? Spend an action to unmute. Then tell me what you do.
By my mother's beard. Where the bloody hell am I?
He's a distant cousin.
Is that you?
No way. Could it be?
Are you up there with me, Rose? Where'd that bloody frog go?
This one here? Up on the roof there.
That's whose place you took, I assume?
Yep.
Disappearing Miros, appearing other cousin.
Yep. Because of the strained portal magic and Niles's crit fail, you guys are not teleported so much as resupposited. That's not the word.
I sense something strange.
He's covered in shite.
Feels like a suppository. This bloody portal's gonna be the end of us.
No time to chat, boys. There's a woman who is immediately trying to recover from. She's covered in goo and stepping backwards, stunned, like you spat a whole bunch of goo on her, and is righting herself and readying herself to come at you, Steppen. What do you do?
Do I have to roll for initiative or?
No. I've got you. You're right into where you're supposed to be. Okay. I've placed you at 24 in the initiative order because you're taking up his initiative.
Forget I said
What do you want to do? That's fine.
I'm going to...
Give me acrobatics. This roof is slanted. Stay on your feet. The terrain that went from sloppy, humid jungle to a slippery, slanted, fiery rooftop is quite reeling. Like, not terrible. It's not. You don't need to roll particularly high. Be happy with 10. What'd you get?
11.
No, you're fine. Take a step back and a shingle slides, but you're okay. Take a look around. Perception. It's the board as you see it, and and everybody already knows. Leaving you with one final action. Give you the talking for free this time because it's such a occurrence. What do you want to do?
Fire my crossbow.
Okay. Got you targeted. I'm assuming at the woman. That's your cousin? You left me in a hole. Never know what side he's going to join. I didn't promise anything.
All right. No way. Natural 20.
Oh, he's
35.
back, ladies and gentlemen. Spangler's back.
And 8 damage.
So more reflexively than anything. Got the crossbow in the hip, was ready for some other battle, and she comes at you, and you're just like, all right, right in the thigh.
Yeah.
Squeak. You asked for it, lady. Doink.
That's me.
Oh no, that's you. But wait, plenty more action coming our way. Where are we here? There's a lot of scrolling. Fraser, our cleric played by Joe Davis, begins casting a spell.
I just noticed I have an ability that is called Point Blank Shot, and I get, when using a ranged weapon that doesn't have the volley trait, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus to damage rolls on attacks against targets within the weapon's first range increment.
All right, 8 becomes 10. No problem. Fraser Nilshadow begins casting a spell. But he never finishes it, as once again, not Niles, but a familiar orc phases in, taking his place. Niles at initiative 1, putting our orc phasing in at 20. Welcome back, Doug Baldwin. 1 to phase and get your bearings. A perception check, burning in action. And yes, because you asked, and this is not revenge, I swear, because you asked about healing yourself, I will say that your weapon is not in hand. Remember that bit he pulled with the portal? Very smart, you know. Oh, my weapon was out, right? I was pulling with the portal. Ha, weapon in hand, right? This time, the last thing he asked was about healing himself. So he's got
such a vengeful DM.
Oh, no. I'm just going with the material that's present for me. So with bag in hand and laying hands upon thyself, or, stitching needle, here you are. What do you want to do? 14 is good enough to bring in the battle fly round you.
I'm totally cool with that. I don't care. I will draw my weapon. I will say that I don't need a free hand to lay on hands anymore, but that doesn't mean my weapon. Okay. So I'll draw my weapon, and
you can just snuffle. To just wiggle his mustache and his nose like Sabrina the witch, and I've healed myself.
And then I will. Which of these two in front of me? Now I rolled a 14 on that perception check you had me to get my bearings.
So Niles to your right, there is a dwarf and there is a human. Now, the battle I dropped you on the ship had neither of these kinds of opponents. However, the dwarf literally has the Scarlet Triad symbol etched in his armor. And the woman, wearing dark leathers and rapier gleaming, looks posed to strike at you, and only pauses for a moment as you poof in. She was obviously fighting someone that was standing in your place. But with Niles at your side, who the enemies are, pretty obvious. Pick one, knock yourself out.
Okay. Then I will attack Sneaky Human.
Sneaky Human.
Old Sneaky Human number 1. Could you target him for me while I get my bearings back again, and then I'll be ready to fire.
Oh, you've got it engaged. Sneaky Human 1. Glug's good to go.
Perfect. Hit with a 27.
Okay.
And 16 points of damage.
Right. Did I overextend your turn? 1 to show up, 1 for perception, weapon not in hand.
Oh,
but you can retrieve it. You can return it.
I'm sorry. I thought I showed up and then used 1 for the perception. So you used up 2 of my actions before I got to choose. And actually, you used up all 3 of my actions. So that's cool. I didn't attack at all because
no. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. My bad. For the what do you call it? They talked about how the fighter is so good because of all the bonus feats, the variety. The various choices makes the class very powerful. Dropping fresh-ish players out of the sky, I figured instead of taking up the last guy's initiative, the very least to make things fair is you burn an action phasing in. An action to your brain just forces you to take in your surroundings, and then you act. And unfortunately, it didn't have a weapon in hand. But where's your javelin? Here's an idea. If your javelin's in your pack, can you summon it to your hand? Or does it have to be thrown in return?
I believe the returning is engaged at the point at which it's thrown.
Okay. So, see, Matt, not so vengeful. Always trying to help the players with an angle. Not that I didn't already know that, but
it didn't help.
At least go, guys.
But we did talk about it and shoot up a couple more seconds.
Points for trying.
You can give him back the 16 points and we can move on. I'm all done.
I will hold that. I'll hold that. You come around and I'll let you hold that strike. Normally I don't retcon outside of a round, but a strike I'll let you hold, and so I'll leave it right.
All right.
Which brings us to that Sneaky Human, who, as a full round action, now here's a cool idea. Glug hits with a 27, and her AC is a 25. As a reaction this round, they can activate Nimble Dodge, effectively giving them a +2 AC, ranking her to 27. Unfortunately, the 27 is what he rolled, still hits. So if he rolled lower, like you see what I'm saying? Like if he beat 25 but not 27, they can crank into this sort of like Neo bend backwards. Yeah, it's really cool.
To be honest, if the only thing I can do is one action, do you mind if I raise my shield instead? And
not at all.
And we can flush this. We'll flush this roll. I raised my shield, and that's what I did instead.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, damage is damage, but a free hit to giving up, yeah, that's generous of you. I'll give you that. Okay.
Well, it's damage I can take away when it's not my turn, so.
Damage you can inflict later. Damage that I'm willing to inflict upon you later when it's not my turn. All right, so let me just write her hit points real quick. And where was I? Oh, yes. I have a brand new target. I don't know who you are, but since this guy was casting a spell and a great big orc is suddenly in front of me, these evil people do not take chances. So, a stab with a rapier and a miss, glug glug. Switching to second attack mode and a stab with my dagger with a nat 20. Faints you with the miss and nails you with the 32 with the dagger, sir. And you take 1d4 plus 4 points of damage, 2d4 for 14 glug glug.
I'd like to quick block, shield block as a reaction.
Okay.
Which, with my spiked shield, means that my hardness is 6, I believe, so I'll still take 8, and one of the spines will rip off. 2 of the spines will rip off.
Okay. Now, did you manage to heal yourself up a bit?
I was only down 14 coming into this fight, so I stayed there. Because I did not want to spend that focus point for 14 hit points.
Okay, it just hits you with another 14, bringing you up to 28, but actually has you at 30. So were you at 60? I currently have you at 30 wounds after that 14 hit point.
Okay, 16, sure. Yeah, 16 sounds about right. So therefore it was 16 and then 8 more.
Now you're going to take 8, so that will bring you up to 24. Okay, and what happens to the shield?
It loses 1 or 2 spines.
Okay.
For the
Drew, would you
coming in.
Drew, can you back me up in the notes with that? And Doug, you have your own notes to count your spines, because you do it so rarely, and they grow back like the next day or something.
Correct.
When do they grow back? Yeah, like maybe that's why we haven't been counting, because they come back so quick.
Well, I also was doing it wrong, so I'm doing it right now.
Right,
I take damage more often. We used to channel all of the damage into the spikes, and actually it deals damage to both the shield and to me after the hardness. So
you push the combat edge of learning for core, and it would suck to bring you in the 4th season where like we've been up on the core rules, and to dump you in as a 14th level character, I think that would be too harsh. So welcome back with my blessing. So good to have you. Actually, with your shield, Doug, getting in the way. So happy for you and the fans. Sneaky Human has a 3rd action. And I am actually going to... You know what? What the hell? 3rd attack with the rapier. Take all the penalties. Nat 1. She gets so mad she got a clear shot, and at the last minute hits the shield that she's already following through with the rapier, and also glances off shield in the way and numbs her arm, and costs Sneaky Human 1 an action next round. And what I'll do to track that is I will say that she is actually stunned 1, and then that's how we can track officially, combat loss of actions is our go-to.
Very clever, sir.
Yeah,
Very
well
clever.
Yeah. Wish I thought of that sooner. Sneaky Human 2 on the roof gets shot in the leg by a new dwarf, and since we started with the dwarf that turned into a frog that turned into a much, Harrier? No. There's no way you could be. Is there an H word for you?
It was a
Oakenheart?
gnome that turned into a frog.
Oh, there's a gnome. Yeah. Fine. I'm going to burn a perception check to look you over and look for a weak point. And then attack. Just to make sure that this isn't some kind of illusion or some kind of trick. And then she comes at you first with the rapier, Oakenheart, and lands a hit with a 33, and you take 1d6 plus 5 piercing. 8 points of damage, and then again, sort of turning sideways, favoring that leg, trying to keep it away from you, attacks a second time with the same rapier and misses you. And that's her turn. Meanwhile, back on the ground, the dwarven thug. Sorry, Gibson, but this is what you get for not showing up. Before I can teleport in another guy on Gibson's turn, Gibson's gonna take a hit. Niles Cronin. Sorry, wrong campaign. Vicar Niles is currently toe-to-toe, flail to flail with the dwarven thug and is the victim of yet another hit and takes a critical 2d6 plus 10 bludgeoning and takes 33 points of damage. Can somebody do Gibson's impression? That's gross. Yeah. Oh, Drew's come to know him so well. I hope he's watching this live. Let's check the chat. No, nothing from Gibson. Just silence. Mad hatred. Brewing silence, but silence.
So Vicar just took that from the dwarf, right?
Yep.
I think it's time for me to give some gaze and just make that dwarf think about himself and think about what he's doing and make him rethink his life and his motivations.
Damn it. My first decent swing, man. Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
My job to keep people standing up and not taking damage. There are 2 dragons on this map.
Drakes. We're just little drakes. We haven't done anything yet. Just saying.
It says dragon on
All
the
right.
label.
Oh,
and I'm scared.
In the jungle, they're all dragons. All right.
That's right.
So what happens now? Do I get saving throw? Do you have to hit a DC?
No, he gets to make a choice. He can either deal no damage, or he can take, he would be immune to 12 points of damage would be reduced from this. And he would also be enfeebled to until his next turn and take 1 point of holy damage if he's unholy every round.
I'm always for flavor over tactics, and a lot of times when confronted with these immediate choices, the enemies have just taken the better logic. But you know what? I've learned dwarves are stubborn. He'll eat that enfeeblement too. He will take the damage off a little bit, but still get a bunch of it through on his target. And what was the third thing? Take 1
if
point?
he's unholy, he will take 1 point of unholy damage.
I'm evil. I'm not unholy. I'm not like a cleric.
That means the same
That
thing.
is the same thing now,
This,
yeah.
okay.
Evil,
He's
it's
been
unholy.
converted. Evil becomes unholy, and good becomes holy.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like if he actually had unholy powers. Yeah, you're right, and I do know this. just the way you were. I was in the moment, you and your championess, and it's just like, and if you are unholy, no, I'm not. I'm not even religious. Right in the head. Fine. I'll take some damage. So bringing up Mr. Dwarf's effects and making sure that he is enfeebled too. I'm an NPC. I need you. Okay, it's all right. +1 on this dwarf because I can only enfeeble one for some reason. Double tap him because it's not really a proper character sheet. I mean, I'll try. Double tap here. They're listing it, but it's not really letting me turn the 1 into a 2 like normal. They've changed. Fantasy Grounds, bless them, is always upgrading and trying to compete with the other VTTs. And recently they've done quite a lot And of course, we're trying to.
If you move on to the next character, if Enfeebled 1 drops off, just put Enfeebled 1 back on, because Enfeebled 2 becomes Enfeebled 1 at the end of their turn.
So that go around all the way again?
I think it should drop off at the end of their turn because I'm doing it during their turn, and that's why they do an Enfeebled 2. So
yeah, well, at least it mucks up the rest of his turn attacks anyway, so you're getting that out of the deal.
Right.
All right. All right. Where's Niles? Who I just beat down for 33. Okay, so the 33 becomes what again?
21. Becomes 21 instead.
So it gets 12 back.
Yeah.
Okay. Niles had 92 wounds and was like down to the teens, but now he only has 80 wounds and still have 27 hit points. Oh no, what will we do? Okay, so taking it and then seeing how his friend is not doing so great, he will actually turn his second attack, and I know Doug's actually praying for this, but I still think this is what he would do. Turning his second attack on the champion and with penalties, flails his way at the orc. Oh, not Albright, damn it. The orc holds up Niles as a shield. Whoops, sorry, okay. Try that again.
Just drag it over, can't you?
30. Miss. That's a miss.
Woohoo!
Let's see. Lastly, I'm actually to attack. Thug deals an extra 1d8 damage to any creature that's within reach of at least 2 of its allies. Nope, haven't got there yet. Okay. Nope, that's him. I will actually spend an action to perceive you because you are new to the board. You were a cleric a minute ago. He's going to spend an action to have a look-see. Last Drake also patiently watches the action, really chilling. Albric Stonechucker.
Yay! I will spend a focus point.
Okay.
And cast Flurry of Claws, which is another change.
All right. Now
Hit
these are
one.
attacks? Are
No,
these attacks?
These are not
on-
attacks. This is a focus spell.
So these are saving throws on my part, I'm seeing? 'Cause it
It
says attack flurry, so I'm assuming those are your rolls,
it's
not my
a
fails.
ranged attack spell.
Okay, so you got 128 and you got one natural 1.
So one missed, the other one hit.
Right. You crit miss on the dwarf thug. You do very well hitting my 25.
All right, so I will
That's 28.
untarget the dwarf and apply damage to the sneaky.
Okay. And
36
what
points of damage. This is Flurry of Claws. So this is one of the things that they changed in the core update. Before the first level dragon draconic bloodline focus spell would turn your hands into dragon's claws. Never used it once. It was a very kind of useless thing. Why are you going to get in melee? I suppose that there are people who have built for it, but in the new system they give you the spell Flurry of Claws in place of that, and that is at early levels not so strong, but as you level up it starts to hit pretty freaking hard. So it does 5d8 slashing damage and 5d4 ice damage.
I will say that your fleshy human wall here gives us +1s because it's an attack spell, but you still would have hit both and missed one, so it won't change the results. But when you're firing an attack spell through friendlies, I need you to put a negative in there.
Oh, hit the okay.
I get a +1 shield bonus for you firing through your friends. Not much. Yield days was +4. I missed those, but nowadays it's like +1. Anyway, describe your kill. as your spell ends, sneaky human, what do we see?
So you see the passage of a giant draconic rake attack that swipes, and it works like this. For me to hit multiple targets, they have to be adjacent or within 10 feet of each other. So it's a big giant, you just see a claw swipe. It comes in on a upward angle and goes over the dwarf thug's head, not even coming close, but full swipe catches that sneaky human one, and you just see, arm and leg goes that way, arm and leg goes that way, and the rest of the torso just drops to the ground, and nice blood spray behind.
Why have I got Jurassic Park music in my head? Like, then it's a dinosaur like the one before. And it rip. Ah! All right. Blood stain on the tar mat. So the guy that has no spells gets the first kill.
Some spells.
I'm sorry, Matt. You were very upset with me when I put you in this battle. And
I have cantrips and focus spells. That's what I got.
You're doing fine.
I'm working
Anything
on
else?
it. And with my last action, I will cast Shield.
Okay. Shield up. Vicar Niles attempts to use his rapier, but phases out as a dwarf that we do not recognize enters the field.
Let's see
This
how it
ought to be
goes.
interesting. Yeah, this ought to be interesting. Okay. Vicar Niles fades away. Andreas Stoutbeard. It's Monday night. We're playing Outlaws of Alkenstar, and you're on the airship heading across the Mana Wastes towards the Scar Desert. And as we stated earlier in this episode, though now you're doing a crossover episode, a mana storm hits. And I really need Matt and Doug to mute because what I'm about to say is just going to drive them absolutely frenzied. It literally begins raining snakes in the air while you are airborne on an airship.
Oh boy. This is going to be a bad day.
Look at their faces. No? No Sam Jackson? No? Okay, fine. Amidst said battle, you have been yoinked, and you will be replaced, probably a different man. But for now, you find yourself suddenly in a war zone. There is screaming and running and burning and people running around, and you're surrounded by combatants. In front of you is another dwarf, dour, carrying manticles, wearing a dark red bloodied symbol on his shoulder, glowering at you in confusion. Beside you is an orc, hiding, manly raising his spine shield towards someone that just bursts into pieces in front of you guys, a human female, and falls to the ground. I should have had him come out of her. Covered in gore.
This is an alien?
You're on my side, Eric. Fight them, yeah. You hear chanting to the god CC, I like to call him. And with wondering to your own goddess, a prayer on your lips, you fade and feel it and come back in a completely different place in a single action. Can I have a perception roll as you take in your surroundings? And we'll snapshot the battle.
Go with the 29.
Where's Drew? I'm sorry to interrupt your turn here, Eric. What the hell's Drew? I don't see him anywhere. We'll get back to that. With a 29, in front of you, a dwarf. To the right, the edge of the map. To your left, an orc champion shoulder to shoulder who just seems as surprised to see you as you to see him. A building in shambles beside you. Up on the roof, another dwarf calling out, "Cousin!" And behind you, 10 feet behind you, a dwarf in robes, a blue pointy hat, going, no, cousin! All different accents to your own. One's Scottish-ish, one's mountainish, Five Kings, other side of Five King Mountains, British-ish. They're fighting. We and the people that you've been shoulder to shoulder suddenly teleported into seem surrounded by the same sort of burly thug, crazy people. There are fires. There are civilians running around. There's a human up on top of a roof with a short bow mocking. And there you were, battling something that was trying to get in your face on the airship. So you are shield and hammer in hand. What do you do?
How many actions?
One.
One.
This round.
Then raise my shield and reach for my holy symbol. Get prepared to cast a spell next round.
Okay. Begins the Murmurs to Bree. Dropping Karam into the mix. Karam.
Yes.
A woman has magic cast upon her. And where art thou? Do you remember where we had you last episode? Were you even in the last episode? I don't think you were. I think we had double Joe cleric action. I don't think we had Karam. Which means as the dragon claws rip this woman asunder, as you were placed back to where you started inside the portal room, and something nasty like a shadow suddenly looms towards you. Maybe that demon was not slain, and wicked shadowy claws come at you and you feel your chest ripping open. You appear covered in gore right where the woman stood. Hello. One, to check your surroundings. One, to feel like you're being ripped apart but realize you're suddenly not. An orc that looks familiar, that the dwarves knew, holding a shield up at you. You're standing in body parts. You're standing in difficult terrain. Confused people all around you. Two other dwarves. Some look friend, some look foe. There's... Forgive me if we possibly had you in this battle at the beginning and then I poofed you out of this battle. There's enough perception. Can I have a perception from you? Now, the cool thing about a investigator's mind is he has his devised stratagem. Right?
Yep.
One action to appear, one action to perceive. If you use your devised stratagem to figure out who is friend and who is foe with an awesome perception of 2700, yeah. Not only will I let you make that roll now, I'll let you carry the results into this next round. But if you fail, you might mistake some of the new friendlies as foes and attack them instead. You willing to take that risk? I know I am.
I'll take that risk, sure.
All right, devise away.
Ooh, 35.
Oh, damn. All right, I was going to say, my thought was if his devised stratagem beats anyone's armor class, he's fine. But if he fails someone's armor class, like really badly, like a crit fail, like not the orc because he knows him, but like Andreas or Oakenheart, right? Oh, you're one of the triad, you know, he's going to start popping arrows. Lucky for us, you're good. However, with that magnificent feat, I may have cheated the rules. Do you have to unload that inside the same round? Or does it just have to be your next attack?
I believe it has to be the same round. Let me look real quick. Once per round. So yeah,
Okay. One thing I'm willing to bend is because it literally says perceive the battlefield in that description device stratagem. Does it say perceive anywhere in there?
it's a concentrate and fortune, but not concentrate.
Doesn't say anything about perceiving the battlefield, because I'd be willing to use this roll as your second action perception and have you fire off this round just because of your character class. But If you can't find anything that mentions viewing the battlefield, viewing anything, any kind of perception or view, then all right. In that case, that's on me. Since I goaded you into this, I will let you hold that action for next round and give you back a single action considering you're unarmed. What do you do? Would you run? Would you move? Would you arm yourself?
For a free action, I will squeal. Not knowing what's going on, and I will maybe run to the south as I see kind of like a door.
Yep.
And try to hide. Yeah, just kind of in the, right in the corner there. That
Run
makes
for cover.
a halfling feel a little bit safer.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Tactical retreat. Forward into the fray. All right. Male human. Burns an action to perceive because blink, blink. For free, he sees all this teleportation, but hesitates and spends an actual action to try and figure out what the hell's going on. Then decides, since my lackey attacked him, he's fair game, and begins firing off at Oakenheart because he's an easier target up on the roof with my short bow. So as a second action, I will shoot at Spiegler with a miss. In a third action, or second attack, he will shoot again. Oh, I better write this down. It's 3 arrows. Poor bad guy. Can't have you collecting arrows at the end of this. That's not fair. 31 for a hit on Mr. Oakenheart, even at penalties. You get shot in the leg. Really close to the knee. Not quite the knee. Don't worry, enough to retire, but very close to the knee. 12 points of damage, Oakenheart.
My leg!
Again, the Drake, he's done. Again, the Drakes do nothing. Sneaky Human 3 continues her assault, trying to mix it up with a certain sorcerer. Not phased, if anything, sped on by the fate of her sister / friend / countryman / sorority sister. 31 as she shoves her rapier in a certain dwarf's guts, swirls them around for 1d6 plus 5 damage. Oaken Stonechucker. Albric takes 7 points of damage. As a secondary attack, she follows it up with her dagger at slightly less penalty for a miss. And with glee in her eye from the first blood drawn, she gets critical miss.
Damn it!
And will cause herself to be stunned. Next round. Scroll, stupefied, friendly, slowed. Here we go. Slowed. Bringing us to Muros, who is gone. Bringing us to Oakenheart. Steppen Oakenheart with an unloaded crossbow, toe-to-toe with a woman who tried to stab you on a roof near your cousin who's getting stabbed. So much chaos around you, and now some other guy on an adjacent roof, good 30 feet away or more, starts taking pot shots at you. What do you do?
I need to get rid of this immediate threat on my feet. So,
Okay.
What are the rules for swapping weapons? Since
You can actually, the new rules, you can swap as a single action. No more dropping shit at your feet for free. You're allowed to put one away, bring one out as a single action, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that
sounds good. Yeah, sounds right. Bigger spends all the day on the road working for FedEx and reading core rules. Yeah, sure. All right.
And I bring out the two-handed maul.
Ooh. He's getting serious. Swing batter.
That's a hit. 25.
With 25. As a reaction, oh, hang on, Mr. Damage. As a reaction, with a 25, she does the nimble dodge and just makes you whiff past her cheek and takes no damage. Because I can increase my AC by 2 as a reaction if you would have hit me. So sorry. So I'm going to give myself those 16 back. What do? You had her dead to rights, man. Then all of a sudden, whiff, nimble dodge.
Make a second attack.
Okay. Make sure you use your second box or your... Two.
Miss.
With single action. Did you want to move? Readjust your footing? Yes, I will take some lame acrobatic checks, but you're kind of a sitting duck up here, man.
Just go right here. Stay on the roof.
At 10 feet past?
Kind of use the enemy as a body shield.
Yep, okay. You can circle all the way around her for 15 feet. Hopefully she does not have attack of opportunity. I will check that now. Nope. Risk brings reward. Sliding past her 10 feet back north and then stepping behind her using her as a human shield. You're in position. And that brings us to Fraser, who's not here, to Glug Glug. There's a brand new dwarf beside you. Andrea Stoutbeard, would you describe yourself to the party, please? I don't think these gentlemen are familiar with your good looks and...
Absolutely. So you see a red-haired, bearded dwarf, about as he is tall, typical dwarf. Only his whole right side has been replaced with mechanical clockwork parts. A lot of heraldry dedicated to Bry, the goddess of inventions. And he holds a shield which looks like a huge cogwheel and wields a light hammer.
Now, in dice mechanics, we just talked about your arm. But in actual dice mechanics or for flavor, are you adding the proverbial, you look like DC Cyborg, we have the mechanical leg and hip and part of your head or anything, or just part of the body?
Just part of the body. I have some scarring and some, like metal rivets and parts in my skull, but no clockwork parts. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, like metal to replace skin kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well met,
Carries a
fair dwarf.
Shield and hammer.
I assume that we're working together on this one. I'm Glug Glug. Good to meet you. And I will draw my javelin and then target the dwarf. And
good to meet you. And then he stabs you. He's targeting. Oh, sorry.
No, the other dwarf. I did roll. So I rolled a perception check and got a 14 and decided that meant that I could tell the difference. But Niles was human, though, right?
Give me a religion check. You're a religious fellow.
Yes, I am. I don't have.
Now, I'm not forcing a recall knowledge. Burning in action. Just the guy's covered in Symbolica Bry. Is this Kel'Kathon kind of evil guy, or is this
24?
24. Bree is an inspirational, now good and evil people follower, but generally hardworking, driven people follow this goddess of invention, and they do so for the betterment of society as well as for the pure joy of inventing. So most of them are neutral, if not good. You don't really have a lot of guys making the doomsday weapon in Bry's name. So not coloring, painting any alignment, not that we have any of those left in the new rules, but generally, as opposed to the necromancer that wears the skull and follows Grogus or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, odds are, he might be an ally in the heat of the moment.
All right. Well, I'll trust that he isn't going to attack me yet and attack the one that has attacked me with my javelin. With a critical hit, 35.
Okay.
For 26 points of damage.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to raise my shield.
The dwarf takes a serious stabbing with the meaty arm of an orc of a javelin, but still eats it and remains standing. He's attacking your kin. Orc, dwarf. Oh, they're so very confusing. Clockwork. What does Bry say? Orcs are traditional enemies. Dwarves are traditional friends, and yet he seems friendly. I love actually picturing Doug's character saying that while he's attacking, not saying that and attacking. He's got the shield up and he just turns, looks at the other guy, goes, "Ha!" Lunges out, stabs the guy. "How are you?" Pulls out the javelin. Doink. Let's be friends. While I murder your cousin.
Mouth open,
Yes.
blink
Yeah.
twice.
He attacked me first.
You're not like him, are you? You'll be my friend, won't you? In classic anime,
It's okay. I got a plan. Andrus has got a
Okay.
plan. Logical sorted
All
out.
Okay. There you go.
And that's me.
And page 24 of the Logic of Design, the Bree Goddess Handbook of Bible Mist. Okay. Which brings me to Sneaky Human 2. I am going to spend an action to take a 5-foot step so that I do not provoke from you, sir. Still trying to keep, so my buddy can still take shots at you. Trying to undo what you've done. But if she does any more than a step, if she takes a stride, I might provoke from you, and we don't know what you have up your sleeve. So just risking the step to the right, a little lower on the roof, keeping you higher on the roof, trying to still make you a target, crouching a little bit. In comes the rapier at that bad leg. And misses. Now, she has lost an action, so she's done. Because it was this particular, I believe, that was suffering from...
It was the one that took a swing at me that critically missed.
Was it?
Two of them did. Two different ones did, though.
Oh, yeah, I think the one that died.
Yeah.
Yeah, numbed her arm
Yeah,
on the
that one
shield.
too,
So,
yeah.
so I'm still good. Yeah, okay, so I'm still good. All right, fine. Then I'm going to take a dagger shot at you.
So
Thanks,
he's
Bigler. I try to hit you again. Nope, another miss. He's lucky. He's lucky.
skilled. He's a dwarf.
Yeah. The dwarven thug sees the dwarven metal compatriot and says in dwarvish to you, Andreas, "Orc, lies, marauders, eagle, something. You know what? I guess I'm not. Should say marauder." He hides the triad symbol from you. Orc, murder, hobo, the worst of the worst. I don't have a lot of dialogue because I don't like spending my actions talking. I'm supposed to be fighting, so flailing at the orc anyway. 35 with a big hit to glug glug. Yes?
I'm waiting for the damage to make my choice.
I'm waiting for you to pull something so before I waste my time on buttons. You sure I hit you? Please, can I hit you? 35? Okay.
Not sure. It depends on how much damage you do to me.
15 points.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Where are we here?
It's actually a good one. I should probably shield it, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna need it later. No, I'm good.
You don't want to burn your
I'll
reaction.
second guess. No, I may need that shield for a hit later in this fight. I'd rather take the hit points off the top now. And
All right. Second attack, engaged with penalties. He flails at you again with a 17 and misses. Now, as much as I'd like to take a stride to the right, there's a woman there. And as a deception, knowing that in plain sight, this woman's practical twin is attacking one of our countrymen, I'm going to try to intimidate you guys by giving the body a swift kick. Killed this one. Stomps on a leg. He's next. Look at your kin. And just kind of, I don't really have time or actions to point around. So for flavor, he's just like, look around. and then stomps on the body like he hates her and was the one that killed her, not the orc. I got to keep this simple and short because, like I said, I want to be called on too many actions and what you can and can't do in a round. And that's him trying to confuse you with intimidation of 31. Yes, sir?
So he would have gotten a flat roll at the end of his last turn to see if he was still taking persistent damage this round for last round's actions. With a gaze of...
Oh, that carries over. I'm sorry. I thought it was a one-time.
It's a persistent. No, but he was supposed to have rolled. So there are 2 rolls that we need to make. First, he needs that flat roll. And if it's high enough, he won't take any more. It's over.
You know what?
I'm going to... at the end of his last round.
Official Age of Ashes dice.
That classic persistent damage.
That is a 2.
Okay.
That's a 2.
Then he takes 1 more point of persistent damage this round and gets to a flat roll right now to see whether or not that's going to happen next round.
10. I think I need 15, don't I? For any kind of persistent.
You need 11? 15?
No, I think it's 15.
15,
Okay.
yeah.
It's not kind.
Okay.
Because you take it at the beginning of the round, or the persistent comes off. So I think I've actually rolled that too far in advance, Doug. But anyway, we know he's going to have to suck it up.
Your round, I think.
Yeah.
You take it. And
this is my first round past your first glare. So I think he only got the 1 round to try and shake it off. Anyway, we'll get back to that. Large Dragon does nothing. Albric, the not so down on his luck Stonechucker, does what?
Responding to the dwarf thug, his comments and stuff. Shut your mouth, you lying slaver. Suck this. And I send Frostbite his direction.
Okay. Damn it, I forgot there are other players on the board. Inserting Andreas's turn between yours and mine. Huh? No?
So
Okay,
you
fine.
need to make a fortitude save DC 27.
Okay, if you target me, Fantasy Grounds shall cast my fate. His fate. It's not me. Not me. It's not personal. I'm just here to watch you guys win. Again and again.
I've got him targeted.
Cast Frostbite? No? Try some of the other buttons, yeah. Surely it's got.
There we go.
There we go. Oh, 34 for half damage.
Saved for half damage.
34.
So he takes 7 points of damage.
Okay.
And I will cast Shield again.
Okay. Heroically, because you're casting right through. Yeah, there's some mixed message, Andreas. The guy targets through you to get to the bad guy and says he's lying about attacking. You know.
Actually, I did. Yes, I did target through him, but I don't like shoot something at him. This is frostbite, so I just manifest cold around this guy.
So it just appears. Okay, fine. For my saving throw, I heroically move Andreas and take half. No, okay, fine. Trying to lean into it, but that's fine. Now, I got you guys describing kills, and they usually describe their swings. I lay into them, right? Yeah. Not just casting a spell. I'd like to really hear about the more, like what we see in a heartbeat from you, Matt. And even the clerics and the, like just sort of
sure.
what this could look like. I think
so.
the
Yeah, like I said,
will carry.
I reach my hand out, say what I say, and as I bring my fingers together, frost appears around the dwarf thug. You see his breath start to manifest, but he shakes it off.
Yes. So you need Spiegler's next character needs to be a bard, right? Because he's like, and this happens, and this happens, and happens. Like he just makes everything look better and more. So excited to describe things. All right, that's Al. No moving.
Yep, no moving. Just casted shield.
Okay, skipping Vickers, which brings us to Andreas. Many decisions to be logically made. Stoutbeard, what do you want to do?
Aha. I will. Okay, he. By Bry's divine light, let logic guide your arms, and I whack my hammer against my shield, and I see this radiance of light burst out of him with a whole bunch of holographic cogs that spread out towards like a 30-foot radius, and all the party members would be surrounded by a bunch of these little cogs that surround them. Then I will spend my last action watching to see who has cogs around them, and those are the people I'm going to assume that Bry has shined upon.
I'll leave it to
I
the
think he just cast Detect Alignment in a new rules that doesn't have alignment. Is that...
Maybe. Use the effects to my advantage, I guess.
What did you actually cast? That was brilliant,
Bless.
by the way.
Just bless. But everyone in a 30-foot radius gets +1 to hit now.
Dude, I asked these guys to do something, and you picked it up, and I don't know about you guys, but if I see 4 nods, he totally freaking nailed it. Yes? 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 Eric, give yourself hero point, buddy.
Thank you very much, Alan.
Because this year's jobless new GM is nothing better to do than be kinder to the players. Well, some of them. All right. Nicely done, sir.
The only catch is I don't know how to cast bless, unfortunately.
What?
How to actually
Oh, you mean
cast
how to
it.
make it happen?
Yeah.
You'd have to target all of the people in the radius, and then there'll be, if you click the cog wheel, it'll pop down, and there'll be a button that says Apply Effects.
And then just hold shift and select all you guys.
I'm targeting the goodies. What is your range?
30 feet.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Unfortunately, Oakenheart's on a roof that puts him more like 45, 50. So you only have the 2 friendlies.
Pardon me.
So
15-foot emanation. I got to sustain it to make it wider. 15 foot.
Okay, so eventually you get to Oakenheart, but for right now, I've got the 2 friendlies targeted. Is there any kind of cast button for you on that for Bless?
When you see
Pull up the actual
Spell, yeah. And then I see a little button here.
yeah, press all the buttons. As long as there's not a teardrop that looks red, that's damage. Anything else is fair game. He's cast Bless.
I now have bless on.
Yeah, it says it's done.
Fantastic. And then
Now,
my
if they
last
can-
action. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say
go
my
ahead.
last action I use to see who has the cogs around them, and that's who I will aid next round. And that's my turn.
Oh, wow. I think we got to phone up Gibson or Joe and say, I'm sorry, we got a brand new cleric. He's like way better. He's way better at this job than you do. No, I'm kidding. Without the show,
Joe would love to hear that. Joe would love to hear that.
No,
You should definitely,
Davis would be like,
definitely be sure to tell him.
No, Davis actually worked in Outlaws of Alcastar with Eric, so he would just applaud him. Gibson would probably stop returning my calls, but that's okay. Anyway, how many actions is that? 2?
2 for bless. And then, like I say, my last action just paying
1
attention.
perception is... Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. All right. Meanwhile,
that's me.
across the board, in the shadows, eating nachos is a free action. Our investigator... What? Somebody has to sponsor the next Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock, right? Huh?
Ritos. Yeah, so I saw Glug Glug hit this other dwarf. And I might have noticed he's actually got the Scarlet Triad symbol on him, which I really hate. So I will use Devise Stratagem on this dwarf thug just to the north of me.
Okay. I tell you what. Sweeping through the battle, there's so much going on. I will ask you, because you're pinpointing like an emblem on somebody. I will ask for a perception roll and burn an action from you, just because you're... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
If you were standing beside him still, I would have gave it to you the way you said it. But since you ran off and now you're like scurrying and peeking around going, okay, what do I do? Perception, master. Okay, yeah, of course you hit him. Jesus, this guy
34.
rivals Aiden's rolls.
I see it
Yep.
from a mile away.
You're good. Okay. Bad guy. Good. Okay. And as you were saying,
I pull back my
Stratagem.
bow, aim for, a nice little spot in between his armor with Devise Stratagem. And it looks like I'm going to hit, so I will shoot some damage off at him.
Okay.
Getting between the armor for 16 damage.
nice, very nice.
And that is actually me. 1 to perceive, 1 to devise stratagem, and 1 to loose the arrow.
Oh, okay. Okay. And 16 points
I
of
can
damage.
do more if you want.
No, I'm waiting for Matt because Matt's your biggest fan. He geeks out every time he sees all those freaking purple precision dice.
Dude, it's
pop up
gross. It's
in place.
El Strongo. Very, very strongo.
Strongo? Am I missing a
yes.
reference, or is that your new word that we're going to throw around in praise?
Well, it makes me want to play the class. Because it is very strong.
There you go. That is high praise.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. All right, boys and girls. Time for the bad guys to get serious. Karam. Ending round 4. At the top of round 5. The guy in the middle is counting heads. 2 in backup. My guys are still going. No. Still. He is happy to see you all next time.
Boo.